And success. And here's the best definition I've ever been able to find. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
Still on it.
If a man is working toward a predetermined
Might look like I slim, but
and knows where he's going,
all bones and muscle.
success. If he's not doing that, he's a failure. Success
See if I can get y'all some better light.
Realization of a worthy ideal.
I might have to start adding protein shakes
Distinguished psychiatrist wrote a wonderful book called
to my diet.
Man's Search for Himself. And in this
And
book, he
consistency.
says, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity.
Earl
And
Nightingale.
there you have the trouble today. It's conformity. People acting like everyone else without knowing why, without knowing where they're going. Now think of it. In America right now, there are over 18 million people 65 years of age and older. And most of them are broke. They're dependent on someone else for life's necessities. Now, we learn to read by the time we're 7. We learn to make a living by the time we're 25. Usually by that time, we're not only making a living, we're supporting a family. And yet, by the time we're 65, we haven't learned how to become financially independent in the richest land that has ever been known.
How big I gotta be?
Why?
It's about
We
physique,
conform.
health.
And the trouble is that we're acting like the wrong percentage group, the 95 who don't succeed.
I ain't
So
massive.
why do these people conform?
Feel good
Well, I
though.
really don't know. These people believe that their lives are shaped by
Like the light.
circumstances, by things that happen to them, by exterior forces. They're outer-directed
light.
people. A survey was made one time that covered a lot of men, working men, and these men were asked, why do you work? Why do you get up in the morning? 19 out of 20 had no idea. If you ask them, they'll say, well, everyone goes to work in the morning, and that's the reason they do it, because everyone else is doing it. Now let's get back to our definition of success. Who succeeds? The only person who succeeds is the person who is progressively realizing a worthy ideal. Is the person who says, I'm going to become this, and then begins to work toward that goal. I'll tell you who the successful people are. A success is the school teacher who's teaching school because that's what he or she wants to do. The success is the woman who's a wife
Trying to
and
give y'all a
mother
little bit
because she
more.
wanted to become a wife and mother and is doing a good job of it. The success is the
So
man
you
who
still
runs
on
the corner gas station
feed it
because that was
time?
his dream. That's what he wanted to do.
Still ain't got that protein in my
The success is the
system, but
successful salesman who wants to
nigga
become
on
a
the protein
top-notch
shakes, I'll let y'all
salesman
know what
and
I'm
grow
doing,
with his
how it's going.
organization. A success is anyone who is doing deliberately a predetermined job because that's what he decided to do deliberately, but only 1 out of 20 does that. That's why today there isn't really any competition unless we make it for ourselves. Instead of competing, all we have to do is create. You know, for 20 years I looked for the key which would determine what would happen to a human being. Was there a key I wanted to know which would make the future a promise that we could foretell to a large
A little
extent?
bigger on
Was
camera.
there a key that would guarantee a person's
And
becoming
in the mirror.
successful if he only knew about it and knew how to use it? Well, there is such a key, and I found it.
Talk to me, I'll
Have you
talk
ever
back.
wondered why so many men work so hard and honestly without ever achieving anything in particular, and others don't seem to work hard and yet seem to get everything? They seem to have the magic touch. You've heard them say that about someone. Everything he touches turns to gold.
Those 25
Have you
plates.
ever noticed that a man who becomes successful tends to continue to become successful? And on the other hand, have you noticed how a man who's a failure tends to continue to fail? Well, it's because of goals. Some of us have goals, some don't. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. It's that simple. Think of a ship leaving a harbor, and think of it with the complete voyage mapped out and planned. The captain and crew know exactly where it's going and how long it'll take. It has a definite goal. Now, 9,999 times out of 10,000, it will get to where it started out to get. Now, let's take another ship, just like the first, only let's not put a crew on it or a captain at the helm. Let's give it no aiming point, no goal, no destination. We just start the engines and let it go. I think you'll agree with me that if it gets out of the harbor at all, it'll either sink or wind up on some deserted beach at derelict. It can't go anyplace because it has no destination and no guidance, and it's the same with a human being. Take the salesman, for example. There's no other person in the world today with the future of a good salesman. Selling is the world's highest paid profession, if we're good at it, and if we know where we're going. Every company needs top-notch salesmen, and